Okay, hello and welcome everyone. This is episode 2 of Empire Karaoke with me and Mokai. We are of the Pantheonic Index, Mokai being our managing director of all ZA Holdings. I am Mark French, the president of the stateside American version of the Pantheonic Index. And Empire Karaoke is our deep dive analysis series. Sometimes it leans into the political space. Sometimes it leans more into the macroeconomic space. This one is a really fun one with the upcoming frenetic frenzy of the World Cup starting in about a month, I believe. This is going to be episode 2 of Empire Karaoke is going to be the first in a series that Mokai has created completely centered around the analysis of the structure of FIFA and the World Cup and the deep dive into everything that entails. So with that said, hello, strap in, here we go. We're going to have fun. And I will let the man of the hour take it from here. Go right ahead, Mokai. Good to see you, man.
Hi, Mark, and welcome to episode 2. And what we're gonna do, it's not something that when you see on the internet or on the news, whenever we talk about the World Cup, we're gonna look at the World Cup for what it is, and FIFA as it is, and the host nations as host nations. We're not going to look at them for the morality or whether it passes or fails, things like that. We're just going to look at the World Cup and let's make sense of what it is. Let's look at what it is. So, firstly, let's start by establishing that FIFA is a non-profit organization. The United States, Canada, and Mexico are host nations. So we should always keep that in mind and always understand why it's possible for a country or a city to want to host and why FIFA chose to host there and why FIFA has the tournament. The tournament comes every 4 years. So that's significant. If it came every year, it has no importance. It's nothing special about it. But because it comes every 4 years, it still has that element of being exclusive, you know? So we must keep that in mind and not look at FIFA as if it is its own country or the president of FIFA as the president of some country or something. Let's keep that in mind. FIFA is an organization and the 3 countries as hosts.
My first interjection is going to be just how exciting this is for me. I can't, being born and raised in the United States, soccer here is really not that big of a deal. I would say that soccer is probably has the same level of popularity as something as like, I don't know, maybe ice hockey or it's definitely not as popular as baseball. Maybe somewhere between baseball, hockey, women's basketball. Like I don't really know the viewership of soccer in the United States. Depending on where you live here, if you're somewhere up north that's really old and like super European centric, like my city in Detroit, some of New England. If you're in New England, if you're in really old urban dense places that were populated by Europeans for hundreds of years, then probably a kind of a big deal to play soccer when you're in secondary school or if you can make it to a team in college. Like it's going to university in the United States is extremely expensive. It's like $200,000 to go to university at a decent school here or whatever. So if you could make it onto a soccer team and get a really good education at an Ivy League or Stanford or Northwestern or whatever, like you're going to jump at that opportunity. The only time I've ever had a chance to experience the World Cup, I don't remember if it was 94 or 96, but I lived near a town called Pontiac, Michigan, which is like 45 minutes north of Detroit. And there was World Cup activities in this little suburb in Michigan called Pontiac. And it was a really big party, Europeans and Germans everywhere. It was the first time the Americans men's national team was like even kind of good and like taken as a barely above average team. There was this really energetic guy named Alexi Lawless, like just this red hair, dreadlocks, big beard, spoke really well, kind of an interesting, charismatic guy. And if I remember correctly, he was actually from like 20 minutes away from the neighborhood that I grew up in, a place called Birmingham. So that's the only time I've ever really felt like a world major football event in the United States. So I don't really know a lot about it. You're going to be teaching me the entire time we're doing this series. You know, I'm learning as fast as I can. But the way that you've constructed this, it's going to be really, really fun. And then oddly enough, I live in a small suburb of Fort Worth. So I live only about 20 minutes away from the stadium where the matches are going to be played here, typically called the Cowboy Stadium or AT&T Stadium. They call it Jerry World here for the guy that owns it, Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys. So yeah, there's going to be so much fun stuff happening with this series, and I can't wait to engage all the other fans from all over the world, you know, that are going to be watching this, raving like lunatics, fanatics, you know, cheering on their countries, to get the vibe of, you know, the South Americans are always really wild and fun. The drums, the dancing, you know, everybody's got their own chants. The Europeans are always preposterously drunk and really loud, and they have all their songs. Like, it's just going to be a wild, good time.
And you know, everything that you said there is what makes the World Cup, the people involved. But then when we look at it right now, you switch on the TV, you hear about ticket prices being too high.
Yeah.
You hear about visa restrictions. Like anything that says the World Cup will fail is something it's clickbait. It's something that's always going to be there right up until the very first game that starts in Mexico, and when the US plays Paraguay, and when Canada, I forgot what Canada opens with. But after the opening games, all that talk will be gone, because now you have actual football to report on.
The mania, the spectacle. Yeah.
Yes. So before the game actually starts, the best the things that are interesting is who is injured, who's not coming, who will be able to play. But then that's not big news, because it's more focused. If like a Spanish player like Lamine Yamal is injured, he's Spain's best player. We're all looking to see the World Cup. But that's just for one segment. People who don't like watching Spain, maybe they prefer watching French or watching Brazil or Argentina or Senegal. They're not going to focus on that. But when you're saying the World Cup might not happen, everyone wants to watch that. If you're saying that FIFA is greedy, everyone wants to say, oh yeah, FIFA is greedy. If you want to say that the US is not welcoming, that's big news. And you can always find that one particular thing that makes you say that. You can say that the US doesn't want anyone in the world because they banned 39 countries.
Sure.
Yeah, but what we're going to do, we're going to look at it properly. Yes. And one of the things that I want to highlight of a host nation and FIFA. At the end of the Qatar World Cup, FIFA had reserves. So those reserves are meant to keep FIFA afloat for the next 4-year cycle. In between, there's also the Under-20 World Cup, there's the Women's World Cup, but they don't generate as much revenue as the main event, which is the Men's World Cup. So right now, the FIFA organization has planned over 5 billion with revenue that is from the US. They can't get this revenue from anywhere else. It's centric in the US. So that 5 billion is their exposure, right? Which includes contracts with sponsorships and broadcast companies. So that 5 billion is what FIFA is hoping to make. But then let's look at their reserves. By 2024, their reserves were just under 3 billion. So in other words, this World Cup can't fail because for FIFA, it's an existential thing.
Best case scenario, they could be plus 8 billion if they get their 5 while they were sitting on reserves of 3.
Yes, the reserves are 2.9. We'll post post all the data with on the website too. But the main exposure is that FIFA has just under 3 billion in reserves, and they have US they're relying on revenue from the US of 5 billion. So already there's some leverage that the host country has.
Coming from television, I assume. TV contracts?
Mostly, yes, broadcasting. And the main broadcasting sponsorships are Fox and Telemundo.
Okay.
Yes, they'll count for about 30% of the revenue. And because football, whenever I say football, I'm saying it for most of the world in Europe. And when I say soccer, I'm including Americans. We also don't mind calling it soccer here. So
yeah,
the Europeans football broadcasting market is only contributing like 400 million.
Wow. Okay. So very little.
Very, very little compared to the American market.
Sure.
So if we're going to look at FIFA as a non-profit organization that thinks rationally, and they are hosting the World Cup in the United States, the first thing that comes up is that the United States is a capitalist country. They optimize profit. And it's not, would you agree saying that optimizing profit is not frowned upon in the US?
Well, I mean, as someone that pays attention to economics in the United States, I don't want to overcomplicate this. The United States basically right now is a legalized mafia, racketeering, sanctioning, extortion country. So I don't know if they care about actual net efficient business profit as much as they care about money laundering. So, but yes, it's definitely a capitalist country, and they want to wash and hide as much money as possible. They definitely care what that gross number is coming in. They want those reported contracts to be as large as possible. I for sure agree with that. Yes.
So with FIFA, with them just being an organization, I think it's realistic for them to see the US as a cash-generating host country.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even though Mexico has a bigger footballing culture.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think with Canada, it's that distributing football all over the world. Although they don't have that footballing culture, it still makes sense. I mean, the World Cup is expanded to 48 teams. So the main event is in the United States. Everything, if the World Cup fails, Mexico and Canada did nothing wrong. They can just say, it failed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the main thing is the United States.
Well, the Mexico thing is a little bit interesting too, as inhospitable as much of that country is. I would be shocked if Mexico doesn't have a population that's probably about the same size as Iran. I would be shocked if Mexico's population is under 100 million. I mean, they have a couple of cities that have 20 million people just in one city.
Mm-hmm. I think Mexico City is one of the most populated cities in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. We can check the population of Mexico and Mexico City. Oh, the country has a population of 130 million people.
113 or 130?
130.
130.
100.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
100 million people plus
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
30 million people.
So like 45% of the United States. That's massive.
It's big.
Yeah.
So, with that, you have a country where FIFA can maximize cash, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let me not say profit for now, because FIFA also distributes the money it generates to the other 201 members. Like,
okay.
for instance, South Africa qualified. Just by qualifying, they're going to receive $9 million US. And for South Africa, that's huge. Without them kicking a ball.
Sure.
They perform, they win a game that's going to go higher. But that 9 million in South African rands and the South African perspective, it's a lot of money.
Okay.
So it's the same with Haiti, the same with yeah. So any football association that has qualified,
$1 in Haiti goes a long way. So if
you're 9 million,
9 or 10 million, right?
Yeah. If they win or they draw one game, they're gonna come back with at least 10 million.
Sure.
But for them just qualifying, 9 million is in the bag. Even if they lose all 3 games, 9 million is in the bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the football
association, keep the team together and the wheels greased and the money flowing for at least a few years.
Yes. And another thing that's not usually talked about, every club that provides a player, depending on how far the team goes, that club will receive a certain amount of money. They don't disclose it yet.
Actual Champions League, all the participating leagues.
All the leagues are going to get money.
Professional teams.
Yeah, like for instance, if a player plays for the Portland Timbers.
Sure.
Yes.
Got it.
After the World Cup, the club Portland Timbers will get a certain amount of money.
Sure, because they basically leased their player away to the national squad.
Yeah. So that's some
risk and insurance and right. I get it.
So we have a host country where you can generate a lot of cash, more cash than they've ever generated, even when we using inflation. From 1994, the World Cup in 1994 in the United States was the highest revenue generating World Cup.
Oh, got it. Okay. So,
yes.
So not since the last time it was in the United States.
Yes, and it didn't have 32 teams then.
Right.
So the United States is a big market that you can't take it away. It's a big market. And the USA was up against Morocco for the hosting rights. Oh, God. Morocco was the main rival. But a lot of FAs understood that the World Cup being hosted in the United States, they're all going to benefit. Yes. But now, the problem with such a host is that they don't have anything to lose like the previous host nations. Like 98 was France, 2002 was Korea and Japan, then Germany in 2006, South Africa 2010, Brazil 2014, Russia 2018, Qatar 2022. all of those countries, they did not host the World Cup to make money. They hosted the World Cup for soft power.
Yeah, it was
So,
more politics, image.
yes,
Yeah.
soft power domestically, soft power internationally. Like
Yeah.
for instance, um, people around the world didn't know that South Africa was safe after apartheid. The
Sure.
2010 World Cup cemented that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
And
remember Brazil as well. I remember the absolute construction nightmares that were going on in different parts of Brazil. There was a lot of things weren't getting done on time. The work was kind of dangerous and shoddy. I remember um, the one in Qatar. I remember that one being just like way too hot. There wasn't they weren't able to deal with, they didn't have the proper infrastructure for that many people. The heat was bad. There wasn't real proper plumbing at a lot of the hotels. Like I remember that one not going so great.
mhm. So when you see that, like right now in Mexico, just a couple of months ago, there was the big news about the cartel boss being assassinated.
Sure.
Yes, and even guys here would be like, we can't go watch South Africa play Mexico. It's too dangerous because we don't get to see the good news from Mexico,
Sure.
especially because of the language barrier.
Yeah.
You can't be searching things in Spanish.
I would imagine Spanish is an uncommon language in South Africa.
Very uncommon. Only thing we know
A lot of
is,
Mexican food.
yeah,
Yeah.
we only know greetings and gracias.
Yeah.
That's all we know. But anything we hear about Mexico, it will be negative. But
Drugs, death, guns. Yeah.
before the World Cup
Kidnapping.
in South Africa, news in UK, in Europe, even in America were like, can South Africa host the World Cup? We have a murder rate that comes second to Mexico. Oh, now it's Honduras. I think Honduras and El Salvador are like 1 and 2.
Way up there again. Sure.
Yeah, but South Africa is in the top 5.
Yeah.
And back then, it was still in the top 5.
Okay.
They were asking, can South Africa host the World Cup with such a crime rate? Oh, if you go to South Africa, be careful. Look over your shoulder. Same thing is happening with Mexico now.
Yeah.
So people who have been to the World Cup, they will realize that, oh man, that's just news. But there are other people who might be going to the World Cup for the first time and noticing those type of things. It's quite concerning. I mean, traveling for the first time to another country that doesn't speak your language, and the only thing you're hearing is that they are drug bosses and there's a cartel. And all of those things. It's scary.
Well, I like the crime angle. It's very interesting and fun and provocative to me. I come from one of the most violent neighborhoods in the United States, and the murder rate is quite high. Like it's not uncommon. The years that I lived in my neighborhood, you can tell when someone is about to get their brains blown out at the gas station. Like it's very dangerous to run out of gas in my neighborhood. If you run out of gas and people recognize you in your car, that's what they call getting caught slipping. And if you get caught slipping and run out of gas, or if they figure out where you go to the barbershop to get your haircut every week, if they know where you go to the barbershop, that's they'll walk in the barbershop and shoot you, or they'll come up in and blow your brains out. They'll shoot you in the back of the head when you're at the gas station, or if they figure out where your girlfriend works or whatever. Like it's very hard to get in and out of the neighborhood. So people make it up in their mind that Detroit's a very dangerous place, but it's really not. Like the drug beefs, it's not petty crime. It's not like there's it's not like the elder women in the neighborhood are getting their purses snatched or whatever. It's not random.
Yeah.
It's if you get shot in the face, you did something to get shot in the face. It's either a drug territory beef or you were sleeping with someone's wife that you weren't supposed to. Like, there's a reason you got shot. Like, people just don't walk up and shoot each other. That's not how it works. I would imagine the crime in Mexico, because it's so money and drug driven, I would imagine it's basically the same. I mean, like when the Super Bowl happens in the United States, obviously there's a lot of gamblers and sex workers, and there's a lot of, you know, really good pickpockets. I'm sure really good hackers that know how to, you know, steal people's bank cards from a pirated Bluetooth signal because they had their wallet open on their phone. Like there's natural criminals that follow events this big, but it's not like Mexico is just some like randomly super violent place.
Exactly. That's the thing, that there's a painted thing where we're saying Mexico is dangerous, and that sells. Otherwise, the world, Mexico being a co-host, what else can you say about it? There's nothing you can say about it that's actually clickbait or people would be interested about.
I understand. There's nothing really attention grabbing.
Yes. Same with Canada. You can't find too much about Canada hosting the World Cup because, you know, Canada, it looks quiet.
Boring.
You know? It's quiet. It's boring. And there's nothing to sell about it.
It's not controversial. Yeah.
It's not controversial at all. But when you look at the United States, we're looking at the whole tournament, the pricing, the government, and at Mexico, the crime. And that's all. In Mexico, it's just the crime.
Well, it's a funny, compelling story about the United States portion as well, because, you know, the United States is currently engaged in multiple proxy wars of choice. They have 2/3 of the entire planet sanctioned. They're choosing to participate in this Iran war for Israel is going to cause all these jet fuel problems. They're going to raise inflation during this tournament in real time. Like, prices are going to go way up. Tickets are going to be absolutely outrageous. Food's going to be really expensive. There's no proper public transportation here outside of New York, Chicago, and a few of the other biggest cities that actually have ferries and trains. And there's no trains or trams or trolleys in the United States. It's all these crappy buses that may or may not run on time. It's all these tiny little joke trolley things that only go a mile or two in the downtown area. They're really slow. They're really expensive. So it's going to be really interesting. Like, the United States is full on sanctioning most of the planet. So the idea that they're going to make things even more outrageously expensive when they've already blatantly, vulgarly offended most of the world, those stories about this tournament are going to be absolutely endless. At what just a nightmare crap show, the corruption, the expense, and then not to mention the fake terrorist threat. Like, the United States is going to want to print a bunch of money for its own national security because it's like, everybody hates us and they're coming here from all over the world for this football tournament and they could what's up at any second. Like, does anybody put it past the Israelis to commit a false flag right now and blame it on the Iranians? I mean,
and you know, when you go back to previous World Cups, there was always an incident where people came for the World Cup and didn't leave. That's something something that happens, although it's so small and insignificant. Because traveling to the World Cup is very expensive, but that happens. But when you have an administration that can twist that, They
Right.
can say, yeah, they can
Yeah.
say that if the
Uh-huh.
World Cup is coming, we must be vigilant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
things like
quarter of a
that.
million terrorists here now.
Yes. And you know what you mentioned about transportation there? All other World Cups, what they do is that they try and make it easy for people to get around.
Mhm,
They
mhm.
make it easy, they make it cheap. Like in South Africa, they built a whole train, a whole new railway system
Uh-huh.
specifically for the World Cup. In Korea and Japan, it was easy to go through
Sure.
both countries when you had your ticket
Yeah.
if you're a World Cup traveler.
Well, that's going to be one of the funniest things about this World Cup. The matches that are happening in the United States and what they call the DFW Metroplex. So the whole Arlington, Dallas, Fort Worth, Denton, Frisco, Plano, McKinney, this entire area is a total joke. It's laughable that there's about 10 million people here. So Texas has 3 of the 10 largest cities in the United States. And they followed, even though everything here is new and somewhere fancy, like where the Toyota Stadium is in Frisco,
Mhm.
Texas, that was nothing but like cows. That was just like grazing pasture like 30 years ago. So even though everything here is new, the infrastructure is a total joke. The freeways are a joke. They copied Los Angeles in the 50s for some reason. There's no there's no subway, there's no trains whatsoever. Like transportation is going to be an absolute nightmare the entire time.
So from where you are, you said you are like 20 minutes from the AT&T
From
Stadium,
the
right?
team.
If a person is there, how do they get to the stadium?
Oh, if they were in my tiny little an event that big, they're just going to be stuck on a freeway. Somewhere that should take 20 minutes is going to take like 2 hours.
But
You're
how do they get there? Because
Uber or Lyft, or there is no public transportation. You don't even think
so you're gonna have to use an Uber or
you're
a
going to have
Lyft.
to use an Uber, a Lyft, a limousine, a private car. Like this is one of the most nightmare places to drive in the United States. It's if you planned it early enough, there's
Mhm.
one train. If you made it to downtown Fort Worth, there's one train called the TRE that would get you kind of close. But even when you got to a stop around the airport or something, I don't know, you would still have to figure out how to get into Arlington.
Hmm. So
And the other funny thing about where Texas chose to put these 2 stadiums, like the neighborhood that I grew up in Detroit, or when you go to like a Cubs game in Chicago, or you go to see the Yankees in New York or whatever, even in Seattle, like there's a lot of stadiums that are in an actual real downtown neighborhood area. Like if you go to a sporting event in Seattle or Detroit or New York or Boston or Chicago, you're actually in a city and surrounded by buildings and food and bars and roads and people. And Texas is not like that. They put their stadiums just in the middle of a completely hideous, hot, giant parking lot. There's absolutely nothing around there. Like it's not easy. Like it's its own neighborhood. They want all the money to be spent at the stadium. There's not a lot of support structure. Like the roads are twisty and windy. Like it's going to be a nightmare.
so when there are events, like whether there's a concert or there's like a big something here, and you have to take an Uber,
Yeah,
when you go there, like for interest sake, let's say the Uber costs $20.
sure.
Yeah, but when you're coming back from an event, if it costs you $20 when you come
Oh, it's
back
gonna
from
be
the event,
200. Yeah, it's gonna go up by 10. Yeah.
so in that area already we can see that the Arlington Stadium is going to host the last 32
Yeah.
knockout phases.
Mhm.
and they're also gonna host a quarterfinal.
Mhm.
No, the last 16 match. So the knockout will definitely bring people there.
Sure.
Whether whatever happens, there will
Yeah.
be some people who are gonna come there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're good. They're gonna do it no matter what.
Yes. So for those 2 days or 3 days, two last 32 knockouts and one last 16 knockout.
Sure.
Those 3 days, Uber drivers or Lyft drivers can make more money than they'll ever make on
The
any.
whole quarter, right? They'll
Yes, for
make as
that.
much in 2 days as they do in 3 months. Yeah.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
because we don't know which teams are going to qualify to go there.
There's going to be Uber drivers driving in from Houston and Oklahoma City and like sleeping in their cars and like living off caffeine. Yeah.
So, and also you have like your operators like Uber and Lyft. They're
Yeah.
preparing for this because they also want to profit from it.
Sure.
They're preparing from it. What they're going to do, they're going to limit drivers, obviously.
Yeah.
They're going to put in just enough drivers so that they can still make enough money.
Uh-huh.
And the way you're describing Texas, when people come over there and they might have friends, they might have family, those people are the lucky ones.
Sure.
If you don't have that, that
Yeah,
means
the room
in your
rates are gonna
budget.
the room rates are going to be preposterous. You're going to
Yeah.
be paying 600, 1,800 a night. Like it's going to be ridiculous.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So that's the point I wanted to get across was that previous host nations, they cared about it. They cared about hosting.
Mhm.
Like it meant so much to that country that any wrong thing happening during the World Cup, even amongst people, they were like, "Hey, guys,
Yeah.
we're hosting the World Cup. Get dressed properly. Don't do that. Don't do this. Don't do that. Just let's
but
wait."
that's opposite of the American attitude. The United States is not going to care. They're going to act like they're doing the rest of the world a favor. They're going to be rude, mouthy, greedy, brash. I'm calling it right now. One thing that is definitely going to come out from us doing this series together, by the end of this thing, there's going to be endless amounts of stories at what a joke and third world country infrastructure the United States has. Like people who hang out in real cities, especially if they're going to any of the new cities or have been somewhere clean. Anybody that's been to like Moscow or St. Petersburg or Guangzhou or even some of the Mexican cities, even some of those trains there, Chile, Peru, like anybody, people are going to be making fun of the United States. Like the mask is going to get ripped off at what a crumbling crap hole. This city hasn't built anything. This country hasn't built anything of note since after World War II. They had that building boom where they put up the international highway system and all the bridges and Army Corps of Engineers, and like the tiny little blip building boom that happened from 49 to 62 or 63. I mean, these people have been living off the marketing Hollywood version of that for 70 years. Like it's all crumbling and falling apart. The United States is not a serious place. Like the airports are horrible. There's no mass transit. The road systems are falling apart. They're a joke. Like people are going to be making fun of the United States after this. I guarantee it.
So no, the interesting is that you're describing infrastructure that is deteriorating, right?
Mhm.
Or that is non-existent.
Sure.
But preparing for the World Cup, host nations usually spend a lot of money, particularly for that. For
Sure.
instance, I live in a township. During the World Cup, you could live in a township and still get to a game very easily using public transport.
Okay.
You had people staying in townships because it was cheaper.
Sure.
Yeah, like the township I live in is way closer to the Johannesburg International Airport than Johannesburg is.
Mm.
So when you start looking for a place to stay, and by that time, things are expensive already.
Hmm.
And the cheapest place would have been in the township.
Sure.
Same there, the cheapest places will be places that are on the outskirts of the city or a bit far away from the stadium or far away from the city center.
Yeah.
Those places will probably be listed with normal rates or cheaper rates.
Yeah.
And some people who like
end up spending just as much as if you would have got as close as possible to be in walking or biking or scooter distance.
But the thing is, when you hear about those things,
Uh-huh.
they're too expensive.
Sure.
So if I'm planning from South Africa and I want to go watch a game, the final at MetLife, I'll be
Yeah.
like, wait, the stadium is in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And I have to get on a train and pay $100 to go watch the game.
Right.
And wherever I'm gonna get the train. I look at the properties that I can get accommodation.
Uh-huh.
They're too expensive.
Right. Yeah.
Eventually, I'm in Queens coming to America looking for a wife. You know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're gonna look for the cheapest places.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
A temporary wife could work out great.
So you see, when FIFA has 5 billion of revenue that they're planning on, and they have such little reserves, and before, when they hosted, they had enough reserves because the revenue was not as high as now. In Brazil, they forced the Brazilian government to start selling alcohol at the stadium. Since 2003, they banned alcohol in Brazil.
Sure.
At the World Cup, the FIFA secretary, he was very arrogant about it. It was like, whoa. This is the World Cup. We are going to have beer there.
Period. Yeah.
And we had beer there.
Yeah.
In France, they had to extend the liquor licenses and entertainment licenses.
Of course.
They had extended hours.
Yeah.
In South Africa, we had a court that ran 24 hours a day.
Oh, for the drunks and vagrancy?
For the drunks and the English people who drink too much. Yeah, they have... it's a stereotype, but they know. The English know.
It's the British know. They know what they do.
Yeah. In Qatar, they had the hire card, where when you got there, as long as you had your match ticket, you could easily enter the country and you could roam around. They relaxed their religious laws.
Wow.
I mean, how big relaxing your own religious laws, and we know that they're a very conservative country there, but they relaxed. In Qatar, like a man and a woman have to be married in order to like share a hotel.
Of course, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
They allowed alcohol there. A Muslim nation allowed alcohol.
Yeah.
Russia.
Well, so to your point, this is such a cool direction that you're taking, because the matches in Seattle and somewhere else where they are purposely having pride celebrations at Muslim country matches is the most liberal North American, just disgusting. I mean, that is wild to me. They're doing that on purpose. It's completely disrespectful. I've never seen anything like it.
And one of the things that they're gonna use is that if you highlight that or you challenge that, the first thing they will be like, oh, homophobic.
Right.
But it's not homophobic.
How is it homophobic to... It's religious freedom practice. I thought these countries' constitutions were based on freedom of religious practice. What is it? It has nothing to do with homosexuality.
You know, when we look at that argument, I don't think we'll even look at freedom of religion. There'll
Right.
be
Oh,
so
sure.
much
Yeah.
it'll be so much pushback. It'll be like, oh no, we have Pride Week, and
Mhm.
just because the World Cup is here, we can't postpone Pride Week. And they're gonna start talking about the history of
Uh,
rights, the human rights about it. But that's deviating from being a host nation.
sure.
When you're a host nation, is like when you're hosting a party. No one has ever enjoyed hosting a party in the house because you're gonna have to hide stuff, make it look clean,
Sure.
allow people to have food in your fridge. That's what all these host nations are doing. I mean, in Russia, it wasn't easy for other African countries or people from African countries to travel to Russia.
Hmm.
But for the World Cup, as long as you had your ticket, yeah, welcome, welcome. They even had campaigns like, hey guys, during the World Cup, no racism.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, no racism, behave yourself.
Right.
This also happened in France. Like even in South Africa, I was like, hey guys,
Yeah.
we don't air our dirty laundry.
Stop being racist and stop with the gay stuff just for a few
Even
weeks. Yeah.
even with opposition parties,
Uh-huh.
they were not taking cheap shots at each other.
Right.
The news was not reporting crime the way they report crime.
Yeah.
They won't say, there's someone who got shot at a tavern on Saturday night.
Well, so it's funny. This is a funny angle as well because here in the United States, if you're watching a Champion League game, and let's say it's PSG and Bayern Munich or something, you're and you hear these racist chants sometimes against the guys that were born in Africa or are of African descent of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear these racist chants by the Europeans, or you hear a bunch of gay slur, the chanting in the stadium during some of these matches. So you come somewhere like the United States, it's an interesting conversation because it's like, the LGBTQIA plus whatever it's up to now here in the United States or somewhere like Canada, where everything is just all manner of queer and gay, and you get every flavor of it on the news and TV all day, every day. It's so in your face all the time. I had to look it up recently, and I was like, how many people are some manner of gay or queer or LGBTQ? Like, I had to look it up, and it's not a very large percent of the population. So
Mm-hmm.
now you're going to take a pretty small, very vocal minority. How many of them are like sports fans? I'm sure it's not a majority. And then soccer specifically. And then, I mean, yeah, celebrate your Pride Week. So a lot of it to me is like, how much is it FIFA trying to save face because people know that there is blatant racism and homophobia that happens within their leagues sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I think it's easy to criticize either the US administration or the host city or FIFA without looking at some of the most basic things,
Sure.
Like for instance, the game during Pride Week will be Iran versus Egypt in Seattle.
Seattle, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then in Toronto, it'll be Senegal versus Iraq. So
Okay.
Senegal versus Iraq will be on the Saturday,
I had
and
to live in
Pride.
Seattle. I had to live in Seattle for 6.5 years.
Mhm.
That is definitely one of the gayest places I've ever been in my life. Like, Seattle is really, really LGBTQIA, whatever it's up to now. Like, it's a very gay city.
So as Seattle and organizers of Pride Week, they also part of the host because these are residents
Sure.
in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
You are hosting Muslim nations.
Right.
You're a host. How are you supposed at their World Cup, at the Muslim World Cup in Qatar, they relaxed their laws to host.
Sure.
And now you hosting and you're like, I'm not relaxing anything. You must tolerate me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the main difference between US being the host and the 8 other hosts before.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, we are gonna accommodate you with whatever you need, and whichever way you're coming, we will accommodate you. But now Seattle is hosting, Toronto is hosting, and you have people who are organizing Pride Week. We're not saying they should not organize it, but you can't dismiss other people's religion.
Right.
I don't know what they can do, but this is one of the times where you're like, okay, you guys are different. We are different. We're hosting something. It was not easy for the Qatari government to allow alcohol. I mean, they had to deal with their own population.
Of course. Yeah.
When the guests have left. Like, hey, guys, you allowed alcohol here. I don't know what that charge is, but obviously not everyone will be quiet about it. Yeah, same with Russia. Where like, hey, guys, you allowed people who we don't have direct relations with diplomatically to come visit here. And someone stole something. We're not saying it's that person, but someone stole something. But you have to deal with the political
fallout, the
fallout. Yeah, that happens. Because the guests are going to come, we're going to have a party, and we are going to leave.
Yeah.
Yes. So that should be happening in Seattle too. That should be happening in Toronto, because they are hosting people. How can you host people and be like, yeah, but you must tolerate us. We don't care about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that leverage that the US has over FIFA, it's something very unique to this specific tournament.
Sure.
Yeah, that's why.
And it's all about the money, baby. It's all about the Benjamins.
Yeah. That's why FIFA can't just act.
Right.
For instance, Russia invades Ukraine. 4 days later, FIFA bans Russia.
Right. Immediately. Yeah.
Immediately, yeah. Israel invades Lebanon.
Sure.
They bomb Gaza to the Stone Age.
Yeah.
And they are illegally taking over the West Bank.
Yeah, and it's crickets. They're allowed to participate in everything.
But then when we like, no, FIFA, you must ban Israel. But we know the relationship between the United States and Israel. They can't just do that. But FIFA also knows that Israel won't qualify. They were banking on Israel not qualifying. I mean, the group Israel was playing in, if they qualified, it would have been a miracle. Or football wise.
Yeah.
If Israel qualified, they had Italy there. They had Norway there.
Yeah, get out of here. They're not beating those guys.
They were nowhere near it. So
yeah.
After 3 games, we could see that Israel was not going to qualify. So
yeah,
FIFA didn't have to get into that.
They were safe.
But then the US bombed Iran. Now, what are they supposed to do now? Are they supposed to do the same thing they did with Russia? But when they banned Russia, Russia did not even start playing to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah, why would they? Sure.
So to ban Russia was cheap. The money is insignificant. We can even call it zero. FIFA is not losing anything.
Sure.
But you can't ban the host nation of the biggest cash generating, revenue generating tournament.
You can't ban them. The United States.
No, you just can't ban them.
If they qualify, you got to let them play.
Yeah, and now
They
uh,
almost blew it. Did the United States even qualify?
you don't have to qualify as a host nation.
Oh, you
So
just automatically get a free
Mexico,
pass.
Mexico,
Yeah.
Canada, United States, you
They're in, period.
automatically, yeah,
Okay, got it. Okay.
yes.
Yeah,
So with FIFA not being able to ban the US or
sure.
take the hosting rights, because the World Cup can be organized in Europe. Europe has the infrastructure,
Of course.
and in Europe they have the transport infrastructure too. In
Of
fact,
course. Yeah.
they
They
could host it in
have
any way,
states. Yeah,
multi
absolutely.
cities or
Yeah.
anything.
They have the
But
food, they have the trains. Yeah, absolutely.
across the Atlantic, there's too much money to leave lying around here. We must
Mhm.
collect all that money, and whatever way FIFA distributes it, it's gonna be big for footballing nations.
Yeah,
No matter how much we can scream about ticket prices and stuff, the money that's gonna be brought down to even nations that didn't qualify, they're also gonna get some money.
sure.
So in a way, it's like a redistribution of money from the US. And that's
Yeah.
not something that people talk about comfortably. They're like, oh no, we're gonna generate 13 billion from the World Cup. Yeah, they're gonna generate 13 billion, but we're gonna distribute it to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And not necessarily just the United States, but the rest of the world will get it.
Sure.
Obviously, it's also gonna fall into some shady places.
Of course.
Yeah, but that is going to happen.
Well, I mean, you can't pass around and print that much money and not pay the points to the mob. Like everybody's got to get their Vic. Like everybody's got to get their piece of the action.
Hmm. And if you look at the coverage of the World Cup, one of the biggest broadcasters is Fox Sports.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think it's a secret. We know that the broadcasting companies in the United States, you're either on the left or you're on the right.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, every single radio station in the United States, well, over 90% are owned by only like 6 companies. So
Ooh,
television's not that different. Like,
yeah.
you had Larry Ellison's kid, I think his name is David or something. You had Ellison the younger, who they own Oracle. They recently just bought Paramount and CBS and something else. Uh, so yeah, there's not a lot of the media moguls here own almost the entirety of what you're allowed to see and hear. I think the United States and Israel are probably equal in the level of propaganda and state-run media as somewhere probably like North Korea. That's how bad a closed loop of a system it is.
And so with that in mind, FIFA can't be going around and doing things that might jeopardize their relationship
Of course, of course.
with
Mhm.
that particular broadcaster.
We're having so much fun and time is going by very quickly. I don't want to take away from the actual structure of what you want to give away to the public right now. So I'm going to be quiet and just listen for a little while. If you have this staged in a certain way of things that you want to give away to the public, then you should do that. I'll quit talking so much.
No, no, no. It all weaves in a way, you
Got it.
know.
Okay.
It weaves in because um, what we want to give away to people is that when you see something that is in your normal news, they're gonna talk about the United States, how ready it is to host the World Cup, but the way they're gonna talk about it is it's too expensive, you can't get around, and it's not accommodating.
Right.
Yeah, but they
That
don't
could be
say,
100% true.
they
I'm
don't give reasons why. They don't give reasons why though.
I got it.
And
Oh yeah.
yeah,
No,
and the reason,
it's just the clickbait hook.
yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Got
So
it.
if FIFA has it has sponsors, right?
Yeah.
More than half of those sponsors are headquartered in the United States.
Mm,
Yeah, more than half of them are headquartered in the United States. So
of course.
they have an obligation to make the host country look good. So they can't speak ill about it. They can't ban the United States. Like
Sure.
until this World Cup is over, the United States is a nice, beautiful country that's welcoming.
It's over. Yeah.
We are all one.
Wait until the morning after it's over.
Yeah. If you speak about the war
Yeah.
is a complex issue. It's a
Right,
complex issue.
Yeah. We can't really know right now. It's ambiguous.
Yes.
Fog of war. No one really knows anything.
But now
The
there's
Iranians
another.
are definitely 10 days away from a nuclear bomb like they have been for the last 47 years.
Mhm. Like Iran qualifying
uh,
threw a big spanner into the United States.
sure.
Iran was one of the first countries to qualify,
Yeah.
but them qualifying and the United States being at war with Iran, it's a bit tricky now for the United States because United States is controlling the war narrative in English.
Yeah.
Iran can only do so much. Sure, they can create the AI videos with the Legos. They're funny. We see them. But the war narrative, the US is still winning because of the language
You
and the
think so?
exposure. Oh,
Huh.
yeah. Oh, yeah. There are so many things you have to look for with Iran.
Interesting.
For instance, like the first episode that we did, about more than 70% of our work there,
Yeah.
you can't find on your normal information
No.
centers.
No.
Yeah, you can't.
Absolutely not.
They don't even talk about it.
No.
They don't talk about it.
One
But
of the funny things about the Iran Lego videos is you don't have to walk through a lot of Walmart supercenter grocery stores from coast to coast in the United States to realize Americans are not a very well-read country. I think the Iran Lego rap videos are one of the greatest pieces of military propaganda I've ever seen in my entire life.
mhm.
I think they chose that medium because they know that most Americans can't really pay attention to anything for longer than 3 or 4 minutes at a time. Like the United States is a TikTok culture for a reason, like
Yeah.
I think they picked a Lego rap video because they knew it's the only thing most Americans would be able to wrap their head around. Like they have the attention span of a gnat.
And those Lego videos, they were not very well known until YouTube banned them.
Oh, got it.
After YouTube banned them,
Yeah.
that's when they're like, oh, YouTube banned these Lego things. But like people are like, what are these Lego things? Other people did know about them, but after that, they got popular. There's a lot of things that Iran can't get to the public. Same as with Russia.
Yeah.
They can't take this to the world because
Sure.
they don't have a medium for it.
Uh-huh.
But with the World Cup, the US administration will have all eyes, Europe, Africa,
Sure,
Asia,
sure.
they'll be looking there.
Yeah.
And I don't think when it comes to the optics, they can't control it.
I get
Imagine Iran scoring a goal in the United States.
Yeah.
While in February, they
Uh-huh.
bombed a school with primary school girls, elementary
Yeah,
school girls.
168. Yeah, 168 little girls and some of their mothers and parents and people picking them up.
So if Iran comes wearing tracksuits that say for the 168 girls,
Right. Yeah. Or has a photo of the girls on the back or something. Like,
Because
yeah.
that's not considered political statements.
Right. Oh,
Unless FIFA will come out and say that you're not allowed to commemorate the dead in
mm,
this tournament. Like in Qatar, they said you can't put on a rainbow thing. Like uh, the English captain,
celebration of, uh-huh.
the English captain can wear a captain's armband that's in
Yeah.
rainbow colors.
Right.
But at the Qatar World Cup, they're like, no rainbow colors here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
the
Yeah.
government was like, it's fine. We allow all sexualities to come to the World Cup. All they just asked is that you don't have to do
Don't
that.
make it a billboard. Yeah. Don't,
Yeah,
no
don't make it a
advertising.
billboard.
Don't vulgarly display. Sure.
Yes, there was
Yeah.
also that narrative when they said, but we can't show public affection. And they're like, no one shows public affection. Yeah, it has nothing to do with sexual
Right.
orientation.
Yeah.
So they
Mhm.
said no armband. So FIFA would have to say to Iran, you cannot talk about the dead. They can't do that.
That's a bit of a reach. They cannot do that.
They
I mean,
cannot do that.
if the Iranian team decides to walk out with, like how Americans, when you're a little kid going to grade school, we used to have these things called lunch boxes or lunch pails, and it would be like your favorite superhero or TV cartoon character. They would be these little buckets with a handle that had a clasp that you put your lunch in to take to school for the day. So you'd put in your
Mhm.
little peanut butter and jelly sandwich and put it in a little lunch box. If the Iranian team decided to carry out the lunch pails representing the little girls as if they were going to school, you know what I mean? Something like that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can't ban that. They can't
They
ban
can't
that.
ban that.
No.
You
And
know,
like, you know what
or
you're
if they had like
describing?
or if they had like a black mourning rose or something.
They can't ban a morning thing because
Uh-huh.
every team has that. You can have
Yeah,
that. So
sure.
they can wear a black armband to show that they're in mourning.
Yeah.
And when in the World Cup, there'll always be the two teams competing, but then the rest of the world is sort of like neutral. And Iran will be playing for Palestine. They'll be playing for
Absolutely.
Lebanon.
And
They'll,
Lebanon and yeah.
and anyone who's anti-war will be behind Iran.
Well, the reason the movement is called the resistance, and the reason it's kind of a captivating situation to me. So, as an American who supposedly my country was born out of a revolution against an oppressor and a colonizer with their boot on our neck, right?
Mhm.
So I am of the revolutionary spirit. The special interests in my own country are cannibalizing my country. So, as an American, do I think my economy should be based on dropping bombs and projecting murderous power all over the planet Earth in the manifest destiny, Teddy Roosevelt style, and stealing all manner of commodities that belong to those other nations just to put it on the balance sheet of BlackRock and State Street and Vanguard? Like, do I want to be a Roman legion pirate, thief, murderer that's trying to imprison the entire planet just so I can live in a giant McMansion and eat 99-cent cheeseburgers? As an American, I really don't think that's, if you read the founding documents of my country and George Washington's farewell address and Smedley Butler, one of the most famous generals to exist in my country's history, going on television when there was barely television and looking into the camera and speaking directly to the American people and saying, I thought I was doing good, What I'm really doing is I'm just running around the planet, murdering people and stealing the commodities of other countries on behalf of multinational corporations that just offered me a lot of power and money to become the president to create a fascist country in the United States. That is one of our most famous Marine generals in the country's history. So I think ethically and politically, this event is coming at an interesting time.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason that Iran, which is barely even more than half Persian, I don't think a lot of Americans, they're historically and culturally incurious people. I don't think that Americans, I'm almost positive 30 or 40% of them probably could not even find Iran on a map if it didn't have any labels on it. I'm almost certain of it. There's like 40% of Americans never read a book again after graduating university. I don't think they understand that Iran is a truly revolutionary society. So yes, they have very vituperative, intense arguments with each other. That doesn't mean they want to be taken over by a foreign oppressor and colonized. That is just flat out not the case. Most people in the United States, 60% of people that live in the United States live paycheck to paycheck. They're really poor, and the infrastructure here is horrible. It is one of the most stressful places in the world to be poor because everything is so expensive here. A tiny little apartment is like 2,000 USD a month just to have somewhere to sleep at night and brush your teeth. I mean, so you add in the car that you have to pay for because you can't get anywhere here without a car. You add $50 to $150 tanks of gas. That's how expensive gas is here. You add in medical insurance, health insurance. I mean, you just add up a normal American's bills. It's at least $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000 USD a month. You have to come up with that every 30 days, or you're at risk of being homeless or getting your car repossessed or filing bankruptcy. Like, I don't think the rest of the world understands like how bad normal working Americans, how stressful and hard and expensive their life is.
You know, when you say you need $6,000 just to survive,
you need $6,000 just to not go further into debt and not get kicked out.
So imagine now the ticket for the final is $6,000.
Right, yeah.
When the news say that, they know that the majority of Americans don't afford that.
It's not going to happen, yeah.
Yeah. But we have people who do afford to go to the games.
Sure.
The only problem, which is quite unique for this World Cup, is that locals can't afford it and normal football fans don't afford it. But there are people who afford it. Absolutely. The question is, who are these people?
Sure.
Because there's also a market of people who are going to attend the game.
Of course.
But obviously, we're not going to see the normal supporters. You know, every country has traveling supporters who follow them throughout. There's this iconic person here, iconic person there. Like when the English team, when it comes there, you're going to see there's this guy with a gray beard. It's much bigger than yours. He's an iconic guy, always loud. And there's a big fat guy who doesn't wear a shirt. Big and fat, and he has some English thing on his belly. Each country has those kind of supporters. Maybe the government might sponsor one or two people,
Sure.
But the World Cup in the United States, it's not for normal soccer fans,
Right.
and the ticket prices say that.
Uh-huh.
And we can't blame FIFA for having expensive tickets, because right now you have a secondary market too. They can make a cheap ticket, and on the secondary market, it's gonna sell for high.
Yeah, yeah.
Right now, you're buying an expensive ticket,
Sure.
and on the secondary market, the tickets are going for like 200% of the face value.
Right. Yeah. At
So
least right now. It's only going to go up.
it's gonna go up depending on who qualifies.
Sure, sure. Uh-huh.
Yeah, for the next round.
Uh-huh.
So if the big five from Europe, Argentina, Brazil, all qualify,
Yeah.
let's say the big five and Argentina and Brazil,
Yeah.
and maybe one other country, maybe like Norway.
Just so you can teach me for a moment, because I'm ignorant. It's my automatic American assumption from the outside that doesn't know a lot about this sport. The big five would be France, UK, Italy, Germany, and the Dutch.
So in this case, the big five would include the Netherlands,
Okay.
but not Italy.
Okay.
Italy is the original big five, but they didn't qualify.
Oh, wow. Are you serious? Oh, that's
No Italians.
Wow.
No Italians. But let me explain the five to you and tell you a little thing about the Italian team. So for this World Cup, the big five will be the Netherlands.
Uh-huh.
It will be England.
Okay.
France.
Yeah.
Germany.
Yeah.
And who am I missing? Spain.
Oh, got it. The Spaniards.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
All right. But when we talk about the big five leagues, it's England, Germany, Spain, Italy, and France.
Oh, got
Those
it.
are the big five leagues. But when you're talking about the big five nations, we also include the Netherlands. We include Portugal too.
Yeah. Of course.
And then Brazil, Argentina.
Uh-huh.
Even if half of those teams qualify for the quarterfinals.
Wow.
All of those teams.
The eyeballs on those matches will be.
Oh yeah. The last time England won the World Cup was in 1966.
They have not won since 66.
They have not won nothing, not even a European competition.
That's embarrassing.
1966. So to them, this is historical. Like they're craving the World Cup with everything. Like for them,
do they have a serious team that can do it?
Oh yeah, they've always. They do? Always. England is one of the best teams. Yeah, they choke. They're chokers in football. In tournaments, they choke.
Yeah.
Yeah, but pound for pound, they can beat anyone any day.
They can.
Yeah, I mean the assembled squad is over $1 billion. The squad is worth over $1 billion.
So all the Irish and Welsh and Scots and British, they all play together on the same team?
No.
For tournaments like this?
It's just England. Scotland qualified for the first time since 98.
Okay.
And they have a big following at home.
So it really is just England. It's not a UK squad.
Yeah.
It's people that choose to play for England.
Yes. Wales failed to qualify. Northern Ireland failed to qualify. Ireland also failed to qualify.
Okay.
So Scotland has travelers too.
Sure.
They don't mind. They save money. They don't mind going there. There are people who are gonna come there because it is so precious to them.
Well, the Scottish are treated very well in the United States as well. Like the Scottish are one of the elevated founding visitors to the country. Like people hold the Scottish here in extremely high regard. When you run into a Scotsman here, you immediately pay for their drink or their dinner and you tell stories. Like the Scottish are held in very high regard here.
Hmm. So they follow their team.
Mm-hmm.
So when Scotland plays, there'll be a big crowd there. And whenever that song Free From Desire goes on, you'll hear the Scottish saying Scotland is on fire.
Uh-huh.
And they like those supporters that people really like. Although
Yeah.
we're going to see a small portion of them because of the prices,
Sure.
but they will follow their team.
Yeah.
With England, the 1966 World Cup, you can still find soil from Wembley Stadium being sold on eBay.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah.
Seats from the stadium, a
Sure.
person's shirt, something from 1966. If it was was touching the stadium, Wembley Stadium, it's worth something today.
So the neighborhood that I grew up in, I used to ride my bike to baseball was my first sport. And baseball, boxing, and horse racing were like the top three biggest deals in the United States for 100 years. Like they were baseball, boxing, and horse racing was what this country was all about until recently, when football kind of took over. American football, not soccer. But to your point about the Wembley Stadium dirt, so the for only $5 when I was a kid, $5 USD, I used to be able to go get a seat at the baseball stadium, something to drink, and a hot dog for only $5. They would let me in the ballpark, $5. Go get your seat, kid. So I would skip school all the time and I would go to the baseball stadium. But so my baseball team, the Detroit Tigers, I think I went to like somewhere between 57. I went to around 60 games that year. but they won the championship. So they won the championship. And then some years later, I think in the early 90s, 91, 92, something like that, they tore down the stadium that I grew up riding my bike to when I was a kid. So when you talk about the Wembley Stadium dirt, I have a vial of dirt from the pitcher's mound from Tiger Stadium from 1984. Yeah. And then my little brother's dad, my stepdad, the guy that raised me, he was a groundskeeper there during that time. And there's a position in American baseball called the shortstop. It's one of the most important infield defensive positions during a baseball game. And so the shortstop of the Detroit Tigers, or maybe he was a second baseman, Alan Trammell. I have the decorations from one of his birthday cakes during that championship year. So yeah, I know about the how these religious artifacts, if you will, from these famous stadiums during these famous games.
So that historical loyalty, it doesn't go away.
Sure.
People, although even if people are priced out, it's not going to keep them away. They can still come there. Like in 2018, England looked like they might go far and even win it.
Yeah.
Some people went and they did tattoos.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Even in 2022, they looked promising. They went and they did tattoos. But it's not just
I remember
England.
them making a really big deal about the Wayne Rooney guy, and they felt the squad was like almost unbeatable, and they were gonna,
It was unbeatable, but the pressure that comes with it.
Sure.
Yeah, the pressure that comes with it.
They're chokers.
Yeah, it's what makes football so uncertain, you know? Most of the time you can tell, like when it's like David versus Goliath, sometimes there are surprises. But when teams are matched, not even evenly matched,
sure,
as long as there's like good technical discipline, they can beat anyone at any
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Yeah. So when those things happen, FIFA knows that people will pay for that loyalty.
absolutely.
Yeah. But I want
It's a
to go
once in a
back.
lifetime experience.
Yes.
It
I want
really
to
is.
go
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit to Iran and
Okay.
Italy.
Good.
So because Italy didn't qualify,
Uh-huh.
the ambassador of the US was suggest to Italy was suggesting that Italy be replaces Iran because Italy is the highest ranked team that hasn't qualified. So he
Okay.
was saying that they should replace Iran.
Uh-huh.
That's it's not going to happen. I don't think the Italians would jump for that opportunity.
I mean,
They,
it's just flat out cheating. It's scandalous.
uh, other countries won't mind, but they're a proud footballing nation.
It's
They just
Italians do not seem like a country that will accept a participation free pass trophy to me. I don't see
hmm,
that happening. I have a lot of Italian friends. I don't think they would like that at all.
no one would like that. But the crux of this is that we know Iran participating will look bad for the U.S. administration.
Oh
But
well, that's the
the
United States' fault.
but the Iran participating, they also gaining narrative points,
Mhm.
valuable narrative points. If Iran doesn't play, they have to pay FIFA back, or they're not going to make that 9 million participation fee. They're not going to get
Sure,
that money,
of
and
course.
they already received 1.5 million for preparations, which means they
Okay.
have to pay that back. So
Yeah.
for Iran, not playing means they have to pay. They are losing 10.5 million, including
Well,
the
this
opportunity
this
cost.
this gets a little bit interesting because the Americans are so juvenile and petty under its current construction. It does put the Iranians under pressure because the United States is childish and petty enough to arrest that entire football team. And like they could be arrested and like put under direct scrutiny and pressure and interrogated.
And they're traveling with their families.
I
I mean,
don't,
it's a long tournament. They're traveling with their families, but also Iran
yeah.
has that knowledge, that knowing that this is a FIFA World Cup.
Uh,
If they arrest the players or the technical staff or anyone there, the US administration will not be able to contain the narrative of that. I mean, you
I
have
agree.
the
I agree with that. It is a checkmate situation because during the most recent bombing campaign, because the current president of the United States right now loves to conduct policy by tweeting and posting on social media at 3 o'clock in the morning, he telegraphs all of these bombing campaigns. So the last time he threatened to bomb civilian infrastructure, all of these teenage kids and some of them young women and girls, they all went and held hands and built human chains on the bridges and railroads that the United States was threatening to bomb, and was just standing there singing songs and chanting together. You can't threaten people that are willing to be martyred. But I agree
Hmm,
with you. If the United States imprisons the football team, that is going to be massively bad publicity.
yeah,
Oh,
they will not be able to contain it.
no.
And also, if Iran performs well, like
Mhm.
decent enough, they
Yeah.
will be second in their group.
Yeah.
If the US men's team performs decent enough, they'll be second in that group. That
Uh-huh.
means Iran versus the United States in the last 32.
Oh, a match for the ages. That would be, oh, the
If
whole world
Ir-
would watch that match.
And if Iran scores a goal, they don't have to win. They just
Uh-huh.
have to score a goal.
Yeah.
The image created by that,
For the
it's just
entire Muslim world, there will be no such thing as Shia or Sunni that day. There will be no Sufi.
Mhm.
There will be no division.
And if we assume that the US administration
Uh,
know this, they'll
yeah.
try and avoid it at all costs. They will try and avoid it at all costs. But how do you prevent like FIFA, even if maybe like they know that this is tricky, they might not want Iran to participate. They might want them to participate.
They
Whatever.
They have to participate. They have to.
Yeah.
It's the
Iran.
it's the most compelling money-making story. It's
So now the question is to get them not to play. The only thing that Iran has to do when they withdraw, they're going to have to deal with the domestic audience. How are they going to convince the domestic audience that we're doing this for the safety of our players, or we're doing this because we're concerned about this or that? But there's not a big fallout for them.
no, not at all.
Yeah. But
the public, the general public in that country would understand.
yes,
Their entire football team is at risk of getting imprisoned and tortured and disappearing forever. Like,
and
they
they're
would
victims.
completely understand that. They don't trust the Americans or the Israelis.
So you see with Iran, whether they play or they don't play, they remain war victims. But if they do play,
It's true.
Yeah, if they do play, they are still war victims, but they're making
heroes. Yeah,
they're making money, and the bonus thing, the narrative.
Yeah, the narrative is
but since 10.5 million is not a lot of money.
No,
relative, it's not a lot of money.
They
now
make $10 million every 5 ships they let out of the Strait of Hormuz right now.
So if we look at the US administration, and if we could put a dollar amount on the narrative, the propaganda that Iran would generate from participating, and saying that if we spend this X amount of money, Iran doesn't have to participate anymore, and we keep the English narrative. The tournament is 39 days long.
Right.
That's a lot of time to generate something for Iran. So now, the way I see it, in terms of looking at the money and looking at the politics involved, is that the US wants Iran to withdraw. I don't know what FIFA wants.
US does not want the Iranian football team in this country.
Yes.
They don't. They would give up $250 million at least to not let that happen.
So if I was someone in Iran and I was negotiating, I would start with, okay, first we're losing 10.5 million, and the World Cup, the broadcast there is 3 billion, and I was gonna get a big chunk of that space, especially the one in Europe. So let's start negotiating with, let's say, $1 billion. That's a good start. You pay $1 billion.
Yeah, pay $1 billion. Give us $1 billion. Yep.
If you're spending $2 billion per day to fight me, you can give me $1 billion.
Exactly.
For me to not play.
And not only that, to your point, it better be $1 billion on top of you giving me all my own money back in the form of sanctions. You unsanction me, give me back all my cash, add $1 billion, and we'll figure out a reason to withdraw.
Because I think it's rational for all of us to know that all our political leaders, the things they say, they don't tell us everything. There are certain deals they make behind closed doors.
Sure.
and we'll only see them either later or we'll never see them, depending on the type of structure the government is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they're negotiating, they'll be like, no, guys, if you guys play, it's going to be hard for us.
Uh-huh.
So how about we unfreeze your money? And on top of that, we do this and we do that. And then you guys can deal with your domestic fallout for not participating.
Right.
And if your players are complaining, you can give them $1 million each.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can happen.
Mhm.
It's not impossible. I'm not saying it's like that, but if I'm looking at it as a human being and as a person
The
who,
United States and the Israelis do not want Iran coming to this country for 6 weeks and
but
potentially
how much?
creating a hero story.
The question is, how much don't they want them to play?
Well,
That's
I just said 250 million. That was my original reflex instinct. But I think your number of $1 billion is closer to reality. I mean, I really do. The United States can just print the money. They don't care. That's already how the economy operates here. I mean, they spend $235 million for one F-35 that only 30% of them can fly, and they can't fly in rain, and they can't. I mean, the United States lights $235 million on fire on one jet that's a brick that doesn't even work very well, that gets shot down by its own partners and Qataris. I mean, it's the fake money situation in the United States is such a joke. Why not ask them for $1 billion? It's all fake monopoly money anyway. What do they care? They should. I would start negotiations at $2.5 billion.
So if Iran does withdraw before the World Cup starts, it will make big news, like probably for maybe a week or so, like, Iran is withdrawing because of safety concerns. I don't think that is the real news. The real news for me is, what are they getting to not participate?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that completely.
Yes. And there will be ways to find out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
We'll know that.
Out of it, they'll make a Lego rap video about it. Like 2 weeks after Lucas died, like they'll release a rap video and be like, "Yeah, we got you, dog." Like, is Trump and Netanyahu be in a Lego rap video? Like they'll just be balling with money, like "Make it rain, homie." Like they're like, "Yeah, like we still got a football team and we got paid, dog." Like it's like we beat you anyway. We might as well have beat you on the pitch. Like we got.
Yeah, I think it's a win for them.
It is.
If they were to withdraw,
it would be a huge win for them if they extract real concessions.
So play. It's a big win if they play.
Yeah.
But don't pay. If they don't pay, obviously they should pay them enough not to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if Iran withdraws by themselves, FIFA remains credible. Yeah. And I think
I agree. Yeah. Don't kick them out. Do a backroom deal. Yeah. I agree.
Oh yeah.
That's
FIFA can't kick them out. If FIFA wants to kick them out, they must come up with some new rule so that they can say that Iran, you broke a rule.
Like they already have such a bad reputation. It'll be so scandalous.
So I don't think it's easy for the different organizing committees to control the finance that uncovers what's happening with the World Cup.
Sure.
Because right now you have 16 organizing committees, right?
Yeah.
Usually there's one. There will be one FIFA World Cup LOC, local organizing committee. For this World Cup, each city has its own committee.
Of course.
Its own. They're doing their own thing. So There
Well,
won't be.
the mosaic nature of how big and disjointed and disconnected, like most of the Canadian provinces do not even really get along with each other. The Quebecois, the French speaking Canadians, all the money in Ontario, in Toronto and Windsor,
Mhm,
all the oil and cattle money, like Canada's version of Texas and Calgary and Alberta and all that stuff, like it's very fractured, it's very disjointed. It's the same way in the United States. There's the states in the United States. The United States is like actually 7 or 11 different mini countries, like all fake smashed together. Uh,
mhm.
the tax policies are wildly different. The collection mechanisms are different. The subsidies are wildly different. Like it isn't easy to make things work. Uh, cities, the big cities are the driving force of the entire state economy. So like 80% of the economic activity of most states are being driven by just one or two or three cities in each state.
Mhm.
The rest of the entire state and the outlying areas is like an actual drag on the economy and costs a lot of money. Like it's so I understand why it operates like that.
And now FIFA has a contract with each of those cities. Those contracts are not easily accessible, or they're not accessible at all.
Is you're gonna want to keep that quiet.
They're private, yeah.
Mhm.
But then there are some things that they just can't hide. Like in Seattle, FIFA is only paying $20,000 per day or per game at the stadium. That's
Right.
all they're paying. But the
Yeah.
city must fit the bill for everything else, for the security, the insurance, the water, the electricity,
Oh,
everything
hundreds of
else.
millions. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the city has to pay. But
Right.
FIFA is only paying that 20,000, and they don't share revenue.
Right.
The revenue is for themselves.
Yeah.
It's not gonna go to the city.
I know, but if
So
you but this is the reason Seattle's willing to do it. Seattle is a really corrupt company town. So Boeing, Microsoft, Amazon, Starbucks, like Seattle is basically owned by only 6 or 10 really, really big mega corporations.
mhm,
All of their high level employees are extremely well paid. So for them, it's a bread and circuses thing. They get to force the state, um, they get to force the state to come up with all the money for the security services and homeland security. Like the University of Washington does a lot of animal testing and creepy government stuff. So they don't mind printing a bunch of money to give to intergovernmental relations functions. They're
mhm.
happy to they're happy to print as much money and come up with the blocks and the grants, and they've already taken the money from DC and the state capital. They've already had this money in their coffers for a long time. They probably get to pay a bunch of overtime to their cops, and so it's a win there. They also get to do the bread and circuses thing for the employees of the major corporations in that area. So
Yeah,
their employees get to have fun and goof around for 6 weeks of just total drunken party debauchery. No one's going to get anything done. Not that those hippies really do anything anyway. I don't even know what that town really does.
yeah,
So it's a win on that part. Their real estate prices are so high and so expensive. Everybody that's about to go underwater on their house and get kicked out of it and lose it because the economy is so sick here, they get to put their whole house on Airbnb for, I don't know, $20,000 for a month or whatever for all these rich people. What Vladimir Putin calls the golden 10. Everybody's
Yeah.
going to fly to Seattle, you know, all these Russians and Europeans and everyone that just wants to hang out at a cool American party on the water in a pretty city and have a good time. So it doesn't make any sense on paper. The backroom side of it makes perfect sense. Like this is a very cozy arrangement.
So you see, exactly what you described there is something that FIFA saw, and they're capitalizing on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you completely. I can still hear you. I have to step away for a second. Oh, did you freeze? I think you froze, brother. We'll see if it comes back. I'll give it a minute.